15,000 years ago, a carcass lies steaming in the California twilight. The smell of blood travels fast, and in the Pleistocene, dinner never goes unnoticed. A pack of dire wolves arrives first, 7 of them, each one heavier than a modern grey wolf, built like a biological tank. Their jaws are already working, tearing into the hide, but the wind shifts, and something much larger is coming. Through the brush, a saber-toothed cat emerges, Smilodon, fatalis. 400 pounds of ambush predator. Those 7-inch canines catch the dying light. The wolves stop feeding. This is the moment paleontologists have spent decades trying to understand. When these two apex predators met over a kill, what actually happened? The fossil record holds the answer. And it's not what most people think. Let's be clear about one thing first. These encounters happened constantly. The Brea Tar Pits in Los Angeles have preserved over 2,000 direwolf skeletons and hundreds of Smilodon specimens. They died in the same places at the same time, competing for the same resources. This wasn't occasional. This was daily life. The Smilodon doesn't charge. It can't afford to. That's the first thing the bones tell us. Those massive canines, the iconic feature, are also a critical weakness. Computer modeling shows the teeth could withstand huge forces vertically, perfect for the precision kill, bite into a throat. But laterally, they're fragile. A sideways impact during a fight could snap them. And without those teeth, a Smilodon starves. The wolves know something the cat doesn't. Numbers change everything. They begin to circle, not attacking, just moving. The Smilodon turns its head, tracking the pack. This is a calculation happening in real time. Studies of skull mechanics reveal Smilodon had a relatively weak bite force for its size, about the same as a modern leopard. Nothing compared to a direwolf's bone-crushing jaws. Those wolves could bite with forces exceeding 800 pounds per square inch, enough to crack open bison femurs. But the Smilodon has reach. Those forelimbs are extraordinarily powerful. Fossil evidence shows massive muscle attachment sites. Biomechanical analysis suggests this cat could grapple and wrestle prey to the ground with forces modern big cats can't match. A single swipe could shatter ribs. The wolves spread wider, 3 in front, 4 behind. This is documented behavior in fossil assemblages. Dire wolf bones show pack coordination. Healed injuries on multiple individuals from the same site, suggesting they hunted together, recovered together, survived together. They were social carnivores. The Smilodon was likely solitary or lived in small groups. The standoff continues. Here's where the science gets interesting. Tooth wear patterns tell a story. Dire wolf teeth show heavy abrasion, evidence of bone consumption and carcass processing. These animals were scavengers as much as hunters. They couldn't afford to abandon a meal. Smilodon teeth, different story. Less wear, more precision use. This cat ate differently. Probably stripped meat more carefully, avoided bone contact to protect those fragile sabers. Which means the wolf pack has more invested in this carcass than the cat does. The alpha approaches. Low growl. The Smilodon's ears flatten. But watch what happens next. The cat doesn't swipe. It vocalizes. Paleontologists can't hear it now, but we know from modern relatives that big cats roar and hiss to avoid fights, not start them. Because here's the thing, the fossil record makes brutally clear. Most predator confrontations end without violence. Energy is currency. A fight costs calories, injuries cost more. And in the Pleistocene, an infected wound means death. The wolves inch closer. The Smilodon takes a step back. Not retreat, assessment. Its eyes track every animal. The brain is processing threats from 7 directions simultaneously. But the anatomy reveals a problem. Smilodon had forward-facing eyes, exceptional for ambush hunting, poor for monitoring multiple attackers in low light. A younger wolf darts in from the right, tests the cat. The Smilodon pivots, lightning fast. That movement reveals something crucial. Analysis of limb bones shows these cats were powerfully built, but not particularly fast. They were wrestlers, not sprinters. Built for pulling down prey twice their size, not for running battles against multiple opponents. The wolf retreats. But now the pack knows something. The cat is alone. Here's what the evidence suggests about Smilodon's social structure. Unlike modern lions, these cats probably didn't live in large prides. The fossil ratios at La Brea show fewer adults per site compared to dire wolves. Some paleontologists argue for small family groups. Others suggest mostly solitary adults. Either way, this Smilodon isn't getting backup. The wolves have backup, and they know how to use it. 2 more wolves approach from behind. The Smilodon hears them, turns, exposes its flank to the frontal group. This is the tactical problem pack hunters evolved to exploit. Force the target to choose which threat to face. There's always another angle. But something unexpected happens. The Smilodon does something that fossil evidence of broken bones and healed injuries suggests was common. It makes a decision that maximizes survival over pride. It walks away, not running. That would trigger chase instincts. Just a deliberate, powerful stride into the brush. The wolves don't follow. They've won. They return to feeding. The carcass is theirs. This is what the science actually reveals. In most encounters, dire wolf packs would have dominated Smilodon through numbers and persistence. Not because the cat couldn't kill a wolf, it absolutely could. One swipe, one bite to the spine, dead wolf. But killing one means exposing yourself to 6 others. The math doesn't work. Examine healed bone injuries in Smilodon specimens. Broken ribs, puncture wounds. Damage consistent with fights with smaller, more numerous predators. Dire wolf remains show similar injuries, but distributed across pack members. The risk was shared. Here's the evolutionary reality both species faced. In the Pleistocene megafauna ecosystem, carcasses were valuable. Enormous ground sloths, ancient horses, young mammoths, all provided thousands of pounds of meat. Predators and scavengers competed intensely. The fossil record from La Brea shows at least 9 large carnivore species in the same environment. Competition was constant, and strategies differed. Smilodon evolved for one thing, the specialized kill. Those canines could penetrate a bison's throat in seconds, severing the windpipe or cutting the jugular with surgical precision. But that specialization came with trade-offs. The gape required massive skull modifications. The jaw could open to almost 90 degrees, but that meant sacrificing bite force. Dire wolves went another direction. Generalists, strong jaws, packed tactics, bone-crushing ability. They could hunt, scavenge, defend kills, and adjust to changing prey availability. When megafauna started declining at the end of the Pleistocene, that versatility mattered. Both species went extinct around 11,000 years ago, but the dire wolves lasted slightly longer in some regions. Adaptability more than time. Back to our encounter. The Smilodon Now, 100 yards from the kill, watches from higher ground. This too is strategy. Big cats conserve energy between hunts. They'll wait hours for the next opportunity. The wolves will gorge, maybe stay with the carcass for days. The science suggests this is how it usually went. Wolves controlled carcasses through numbers. Smilodon hunted fresh kills. Sometimes they'd steal from lone predators or small groups. But against an organized pack, the evidence says they yielded. There were exceptions, a cornered Smilodon defending cubs, or an old desperate cat with nothing to lose might fight. And those fights would be catastrophic for both sides. Fossil evidence shows that when these species did engage, injuries were severe. Crushed skulls, punctured eye sockets, shattered limbs. But mostly, they avoided each other. Because natural selection doesn't reward bravery. It rewards survival long enough to reproduce. The boldest Smilodon and the most aggressive wolves often died young. Their genes disappeared. The cautious ones, the ones who knew when to walk away, they're the ancestors in the fossil record. Modern ecosystems show us this pattern still exists. In Africa, lions and hyena clans engage in complex territorial disputes. Lions kill hyenas, hyenas kill lion cubs. But most encounters end with threat displays and retreats. The calculus of violence favors avoidance. 15,000 years later, the bones tell the story. Two apex predators, perfectly adapted to their niches, sharing the landscape through an uneasy equilibrium. Not through dominance, through calculation. The Smilodon, in our scenario, will hunt again tomorrow. Probably succeed. One ambush kill could feed it for days. The wolves will strip this carcass to bone, then move as a unit to find the next opportunity. Both strategies worked for millennia. Until the climate shifted, the megafauna disappeared, and the rules changed too fast for either to adapt. But on this evening, in the fading light of the Pleistocene, the answer is clear. When science examines what really happened when Smilodon met dire wolves, it wasn't about who was stronger. It was about who could afford the fight. And most of the time, neither could.